All righty, guys, here we are. So we've had a great morning. So PCE, PMI, home sales, right? All that stuff came in, and it's made for some good volatility. Right off the opening bell, we had trades in the opening gaps. Hormel was a great one. So if you're brand new to us, right, there's a bunch of people who are coming to us for the first time. If you're trading and you wanted to keep price sort of constrained and volatility constrained, Hormel was a perfect example of one of those 1, 2, 3 setups that we do. Things that all of our guys are used to trading. We had some other really good stocks, things that were more expensive, that made bigger moves. But of the 5 candidates that we had on the 2SD opening gaps, we had 5 candidates that wound up at the profit objectives. So between that and the XRV trade and the stuff that we've been doing with QQQs and with Celsius Holdings this morning, we don't usually trade that one, but we had a new member of our community decided he wanted to know about it. And you guys are always welcome to ask questions about anything that you want to talk about, right? But I'm always there to talk about those trades. It makes it interesting. The next thing that we're going to focus on is trading the NQ using those QQQs as our guidepost. And then we're also going to be looking at the Magnificent Seven. So let's get into the charts, take a look at what we've got planned for the afternoon, and see if we can't figure out what the roadmap is going to look like going into the closing bell. Here we have the charts. You got them live. This is the Triple Q, of course. And we are looking here. Hang on a second. We are looking here at a move to the downside that it looks like this guy is going to give me some trouble. This is the software that we usually use. It's not functioning right now. It doesn't recognize me. So let's just talk about it. So in the bottom left corner of the screen, QQQs, you see there's a big move to the downside, big downward trend. That trend tells us that as things are moving lower, we want to watch for bumps back up into the range. So you can see there I've got that 437.09 line drawn on the chart just up above where we are. That is a recent support and resistance level. If we get up there, gonna start looking for the possibility of a reversal back down into this lower part of the trading range. If that happens, right, then we've got the probability that we make another move down to the central pivot. It'd be even better if we got up into that 437.78 threshold level. 437.78 is the R2 pivot. Very high probability of a reversal from right there. If you look at the chart on the top left, again, my apologies that I can't mark these charts up right now, but on the top left of your screen, you see a chart that has an orange line. That orange line, of course, the VWAP. The VWAP provides confluence right at that 437.78 threshold, and between the two of those things, that's going to be the most likely place that we see a reversal lower, particularly if, now look at the bottom right chart, if that blue line on top winds up coming down and moving into that 437.78 level as well, then those three things will provide us pretty much all the confluence that we need to see to be convinced that we've got the potential for another retest of the downtrend. If we get into 437.78, then really what I'm looking for is a move back down to 437.09 and then possibly down to 436.52. Wouldn't really be looking for the retest of the pivot at that point. Now let me talk about the Magnificent Seven. And this is going to be even harder because we don't have the markups to do, right? So you got a bunch of stuff on screen here. Top left, Amazon. If it gets up into 174.94, we are looking at the short side of the market. From 174.14 on up, we're looking for a reversal to the upside. The key there is to look for the moves below those tails, right? So if we get those tails down below the blue pivot line there, then right, we know that if we move back up through it, we've got a good opportunity for a long. And if that long gets in place, we want to make sure that that tail down below wasn't too extended. So you want to watch for the elasticity of every one of these price levels before you go taking a trade. Move down 2 charts to Tesla and take a look at what's happening there. I think maybe I can mark these up with our application from the trading room here. Just let me see here if I can get those. No, I can't. So I'm just out of luck today as far as the screen markups. I don't know what's going on, but we'll have it fixed for the next go round. But go down those two charts. Look at Tesla, and what you see happening on Tesla there. Firm downtrend in place. I'm going to look for a move back up into that red line. So that red line is the central pivot. The orange line coming down through that red line is a VWAP for the session. If we get back up there again, I'm going to say that's roughly a 382 and a 50% retracement sort of overlapping there. If we get back up there again, I'm going to look for the short side back down into spot 68, $200.68. I'm sorry about that. Spot 68, sound like an old guy, right? From 202.25 or from that red pivot line back down again, I think that's going to be the move that I'm looking for on this chart. Microsoft is a little bit out of the box for me today. CELH. We've got that up, as I said. Somebody in the room was talking about that, one of our newer traders, and no reason not to add it. We've got the the meme stocks are as easy to trade as anything else. They are moving on very big volume. As a matter of fact, we can trade them earlier in the session than a lot of the stuff that we focus on generally. And NVIDIA over on the right in the center. So far right center chart, NVDA. If that gets into a box today, I'll be looking to scalp it. I mean, I usually trade these volatility bands on this thing all day long. It hasn't really got to where it is as predictable as it usually is. So this morning we were looking at this and we were saying, all right, well, if NVIDIA stays in this range here, I know how I can mark these up. If it gets into this range here and stays, and then if it gets into this range and it gets even stickier, then we've got lots of opportunities here to look for a profitable trade. What happened instead was, we got this breakdown a little bit later on, some of this economic data, and as it's moving lower, really what we need to do is wait and see if this move results in retracements back up into here, and then possibly moves back down into 786.89. So again, Tesla pretty much looking for this move back up into this range, and then the possibility of a short. Amazon, we're talking bi-directional trades right now in this range right here. So 174.69 down to 4 spot 14, or down to that blue pivot. Google, I'm not super thrilled with it today. It's not setting up ranges that I think are going to be super tradable. And the rest of these, as I said, they're just not quite in the box yet. And in the box, as you know, is our favorite place to take any of these trades. So, with that, I'm going to say that technology aside, everything's going really well today, right? The technology kind of always gets us, especially when I'm doing this solo, because as much as I'd like to say I'm an expert at running a bunch of TV cameras and equipment, I am not. And, it's only going to get better. So we got Connor off to school today. Julie's got him in the car, taking him down there. So that's why I don't have my favorite human being in the world here to help me with this. But I will be back at it tomorrow. Okay, so that's the game plan. Let's focus. Let's get back into the room. Let's take a look at what the rest of the day holds, and let's get in there and make some money. Talk to you guys.